Good morning, everybody. This is Mrs. Jackson. I wanted to just do a quick update on how I've been doing. Uh, I had surgery March 23rd of 2022, and today is May the 13th. And my vertigo is still here. So the brain tumor may or may not have something to do with my vertigo. So I'm going to therapy for it. I go to a chiropractor. I'm going to a vestibular rehab. Pretty soon I have to make an appointment with that. I went to an audiologist to figure out what was going on, and that's who referred me to the vestibular rehab facilities. And it's just like I've been going to doctor after doctor after doctor, and I just knew the tumor had everything to do with the reason why I have vertigo and imbalance. I'm not really dizzy. No dizziness. Sometimes I do get a little dizzy, but I do get lightheaded. I get lightheaded and imbalanced. But not dizzy. You see, it's the difference between like imbalance and dizziness and lightheadedness. All three of them are different. Still off work. I can't, under the conditions that I'm at, I can't work. I remember even when I was at work, I would they call it inducting, where the belt is moving and you put the boxes on the belt. So, I'm sitting here looking at this all day. Well, not all day, just for a few hours a day, but still, it was affecting my vertigo. I didn't realize it until when the belt comes to a complete stop. It still looked like the boxes were moving. That's when I knew. That's when I knew I had a problem. Because it's like, okay, the boxes stopped, but it still feels like they're moving. That's weird for me, It still felt like, and when you see that all day, when you see that every day, and it's just this, it kind of makes your head spin in a little bit of a way. So it's like, how in the world am I gonna go back to work with vertigo, and that it's a physically demanding job? I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to go back to work there. I'm still taking advantage of their FMLA though. Like, I'm not gonna be stupid and just like quit, and now I have no insurance. You know what I'm saying? Well, other than my husband's insurance, but the difference between mine and his is mine's a little cheaper. So, I'm gonna milk it for everything that they got until I can. So I scheduled my return back to work for September because I kept having to renew it and extend it, and you know what I'm saying? Because I thought, oh, I'm just a little dizzy, this because it all started in January, and I'm like, let me just give a couple of weeks off. I'll be back February, no big deal, and it still persisted, you know. And who's to know that the tumor had maybe caused some permanent neurological damage? I don't know. I got the MRIs and everything. All they saw was the tumor, and they saw that I have a lot of pinched nerves in the back of my neck. Now, that could be due to two things. I had a head injury in 2019 at the skating rink, and I had a head injury in 2001 at the skating rink. No skull fracturing or anything like that. Okay. But my chiropractor told me that it still may have taken a toll, and it still may be the reason for my vertigo. Now, also trauma, depression, and stress and anxiety can cause vertigo, and it can also cause you to develop tumors and cancer. Yes, stress causes cancer. So, you know, all the things that's been going on in my life, I'm not gonna repeat it. I have a couple of videos back of what I've been going through. Um, it's no wonder I had a brain tumor. It's no wonder I have vertigo. And it's like your brain don't know how to reverse on its own, it seems like. It's just like it's stuck in this fog. Um, one thing that I would like to say. Now, if there are any guys watching this, um, if you don't feel comfortable listening about women's reproductive health and details about women's reproductive health, or if you have children in the room or anything, you might want to send them out, or you might want to click off this video at this time. All right, everybody gone? Everybody, you still here? All the mature people in the building still here? All right. My period came back after 2 years of it being absent. And my last, so my last real period was January of 2020. Now, 2020 was a very stressful year for everybody. And stress also could be the cause of missed periods. Amenorrhea is what they call it. And oh my God, not only did the pandemic stress me out, I also had a house fire, lost my son as a result. That was very, like, how traumatic, can you get? That was the most traumatic thing I've ever experienced in my whole entire life. And so the stress from that, plus the pandemic and everything going on, it's no wonder. Because prior to that, my periods would only come every few months. Because I have polycystic ovarian syndrome. And when they would come, they would be extremely heavy. And sometimes they would last for weeks. I remember I had a period that lasted for 8 weeks. Now, it wasn't heavy for 8 weeks, but it was just lingering, spotting for 8 weeks straight. It was terrible. My last period, which was January 2020, it was so heavy I thought that I was going to pass out. I was going to go to the emergency room, but I didn't because I had 2 kids I had to pick up from school, right? So the pituitary tumor, it was sitting right up on my pituitary gland. That had a lot to do with my periods missing, plus the stress, plus trauma, plus everything that I had going on. So they removed the tumor, and then I decided to change my diet a little bit. Okay. Now, I'm not a vegan, but I've been trying to cut back on my meat consumption, dairy consumption. Also, I've been trying to cut back on my sugars and my salt. I mean, I've been cutting back on everything. Caffeine, sugars, pretty much anything that tastes delicious, I've been cutting back on. So I've been just eating just whole foods, plant-based meals. I've been cutting back on my gluten, my soy intake. because that affects my hormones a lot. I recently did that. My period came back May 2nd of this year. It wasn't the meat, it wasn't the dairy. Soon as I cut back on the wheat, soon as I cut back on the gluten and the soy, because soy is in everything. Soybean oil, hydrogenated soybean oil, soy lecithin. I know I butchered that. Look at the back of your ingredients in the back of Lay's potato chips. Soybean oil is what they, cook it in. And so, soon as I got rid of the soy and wheat, my period came back. It wasn't even. Now I know the removal of my brain tumor had a lot to do with it as well. Okay, but it took a month and a week or so before my period actually came back from the surgery. So I don't know if that had to do with the surgery or if that had to do with me eliminating bread and soy from my diet. Because I used to eat like the Impossible burgers, which is full of soy. It all, those are soy burgers. And I switched to Beyond. And also, it's just, you got to look at everything. You got to look at the ingredients in your mac and cheese. You got to look, even frozen French fries have soy in it. You would think it's frozen French fries. It should be just potatoes, right? Nope. There's soy in that as well. So that's been working for me. I don't want this video to be too long. Just wanted to do a little quick update about what's been going on with my health and everything. As far as my job situation, I've been on the lookout for other types of work, preferably remote, because just in case I'm unable to work at my job, I gotta come up with a plan B. As much as I, didn't mind working there, it kept me moving. It kept me active physically. It was actually a place where I could blow off some steam because that's how much physical activity you do there. But if my body, don't want to cooperate with what I want, I want to go back. I wanted to go back to work the day I got sick. Like, oh, maybe this will be, it'll be over in a couple of weeks, but it's been months now, from mid-January, and it's almost mid-May. That's 4 months of vertigo, constant 24/7 vertigo. There's no way I could work with vertigo unless it's remote. I got to work a computer job, desk job, and I did work at I have 7 years of desk job experience. So, I'm sure I could find a desk job, or not a desk job, but a remote job. I worked from home for, let's see, 1 year out of the 7 years that I was at a previous company prior to where I'm working at now. So, yeah, that's what's been going on with me. I hope everybody is enjoying their day. It's a really beautiful morning. So I'm taking advantage of the time that I have before I do have to go back to work, well, according to my projected work date, which is in September. We'll see about that, okay? We'll see. But I was going through a real depressive mode from January all the way up to like now. My son's birthday was yesterday. My deceased son's birthday was yesterday. So it was just like, I was just kind of, I tried to lift my spirits up. I tried to stay in a good mood about it. But, he would have been 11. But I've been pretty much, trying to make good use of my time. As far as my wig business, I don't know. I kind of postponed everything with that back in 2017. I don't even know if people are still buying crochet wigs anymore, but I'm thinking about relaunching my crochet wig website. I even have a whole YouTube channel dedicated to my wig, Selena's Crochet Wigs. But I have to get everything settled with my physical health first. That's first. If I'm not healthy, nothing else is gonna be able to work. So that's my focus, and it's taking a whole lot longer than I anticipated. Sometimes I get frustrated with myself. Sometimes I get angry at myself. Sometimes I feel just useless because, of this condition. Like I can't do anything. I could barely, take my daughter to the playground or to get her some McDonald's or something. It's just like, because I can't drive sometimes because the vertigo. Sometimes I get lightheaded. And recently, I'm just not figuring this out. The hot weather. Let me get some water. The hot weather. Like, I didn't know that I couldn't drive in hot weather until a couple of days ago. I'm like, oh my goodness. It's terrible. It's terrible. But, I'm, like I said, I've been going to doctor to doctor. I've been just so tired of doing that. I was just like, you know what? It's to the point where I'm just like, let me just live with it and just try to manage it without trying to figure out how to get rid of it. But I will be making an appointment with a vestibular rehab that I have to do. So, I'm feeling a little hungry. So I'm gonna go get me make me some breakfast. And I'll see you guys later. I'll keep you guys updated, when the time comes. All right. You all have a good day. Peace.